Are we finally getting a handheld Xbox? And let's talk about Halo Infinite Season 2 Lone Wolves. And here to discuss with me is Jimmy Champagne. He runs a little channel called Deck Ready, PlayStation Ready.
I'm glad to be back here on Xbox Ready. I've been really enjoying doing these two host videos. And we've been doing them over on PS Ready as well, talking about the latest PlayStation news. So if you want this exact same type of video, but more about PlayStation, head over there. So what do you got for me today, Ray?
So we got to talk about Halo's multiplayer Season 2 Lone Wolves. Have you tried it out for yourself yet? Have you checked it out?
I'm still a borderline believer in Halo. I was pretty devastated when I heard that this was going to be another 6-month season.
Yeah, and
not hype about that, but
especially because like all the good stuff that people want, like the campaign co-op, like Forge Mode beta, it's coming at the end of those 6 months. You know what I mean? Forge Mode beta is apparently not going to be open until September, which is 5 freaking months from now. I'm unconvinced that the content that they've put out is going to satisfy people for 6 months. And I know Halo has been getting a lot of hate and people are like, oh, it's a dead game. People don't play it anymore. But every time I queue up, I have a good time and I get into a match very quickly, so it can't be that dead of a game.
There's no way, because think of the amount of consoles you can play this across. You've got Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Steam PC, Xbox Game Pass app on PC. Like, the player base is definitely spread pretty far out with this game. I think it is at risk of falling off though with another 6-month season, and I don't know, man, adding only in 2 maps, that really bummed me out. There are cool maps though. There is a new mode that is really fun.
Yeah, have you tried Last Spartan Standing?
That's what I was teeing you up for.
So yeah, Last Spartan Standing, it's basically like free-for-all Slayer, but with a little bit of a twist. And this is kind of what I like about it. Everyone starts out with a disruptor and a pistol. I feel like a lot of people, when they play, you know, free-for-all battle royale-esque games like this, there's kind of an instinct to hide and camp out and then kind of like pop out at the right opportunity, like at the very last second. I feel like this game mode does a good job of discouraging that, because if you want to get a better loadout, you have to get experience. And the only way to get experience is by eliminating other players, or once they run out of lives, picking up and like looting their corpse pretty much. But you have 5 lives, so it's not like other battle royale games. And this, to be clear, this is not like the battle royale game that Certain Affinity is working on.
Yeah, that's supposedly coming in like September.
Yeah,
right?
it just has some battle royale element. So I don't want anyone coming for me in the comments being like, Ray doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking about thinking that this is BR. It's not BR. But unlike other BRs, is what I'm saying, is that once you are eliminated, that's pretty much it for you, right? But in this one, you get eliminated, you have 5 lives, and you're only out of the game once you exhaust all of those lives. There was a cool like cinematic that you got to watch before you jumped into Lone Wolves. They bring back the Spartan from this mission who was fighting this Banished. They infiltrated this base, and he has been infiltrated his chip with Banished AI. It's like their own version of Cortana, almost. It's the first Banished AI. Like, what does this mean? What are they hiding? Like, we got to find this out. And
I like that. Why is that not campaign? Why are we not playing that, where you invade the Banished base, steal their Banished AI? That feels perfect, right? Live service games can work. I play Destiny 2 religiously. The way seasons work in that game, every couple months you get a seasonal 6-man activity, you get an exotic quest, you get a new story update that has new campaign missions and stuff like that. But the campaign works with the multiplayer, you know, like it works together. But everything is so fragmented with Halo. It's like we're still waiting on campaign co-op, we're still waiting on campaign replay, we're still waiting on Forge Mode.
They have done nothing.
It's like, what's going on? You gotta streamline it, get everything, like they gotta get all this, everything on the same level, I think.
Like, at least with the multiplayer, it's like you get new skins, but like with the campaign, they've done like, they haven't touched it. Like, I know they took out the tank gun and like some of the other fun glitches, and that was it.
I think they have an opportunity to fix it, right? But that time that they have to fix this game is shrinking like very fast. Like, they got to figure out what they're doing. They got to be more transparent, I think, with what they're working on. It sucks to see Microsoft messing up this opportunity they have to make a really good live service game, like to really get a foothold there, because we know Sony is working on 10 live service games right now. Sony can throw anything out there and people will, generally speaking, buy it.
Well, I mean, we'll see how Sony handles the live service stuff. As we saw with Marvel's Avengers, it's like that's not kind of their thing.
The thing that really is helping out Sony here, they have the company that made the blueprint for live service games, teaching them how to make live service games. You know, like Bungie is the only one sticking around, guys.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I've said this in the past, bare bones, the gameplay for Halo Infinite's solid. The work is there. It's just that the stuff surrounding it is a little bit questionable. Of course, I'm not a video game developer, so I'm not going to sit here and lecture 343.
We just need some more development on extra content.
Next up, we got to talk about this showcase that Xbox and Bethesda are doing June 12th at 10 a.m. Yeah.
I know I have a PlayStation channel. I know. I'm sorry, guys. It just worked out this way. My favorite publisher is Bethesda. Xbox owns them. So what's the deal with this? When is it happening? How long is it going to be? What are we going to see here?
Yeah, so I kind of messed it up in the first video that I talked about it. I got a little bit confused. So it's June 12th. It's a Sunday. Starts at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. When I first introduced it in a past video, I got the 10 a.m. mixed up and I was like, it's June 10th. But yeah, June 12th, Sunday, June 12th. That's when it's going down. And we knew that this was going to be big. The last one they did was like the Xbox 20th anniversary, which was pretty crazy at the time. I was like, whoa, they dropped Halo Infinite early. Whoa, that's crazy.
Really cool. Yeah, last summer's Xbox event was awesome. That was like long. It had a ton of announcements. It was just like banger after banger after banger. It was all new games that we hadn't heard about. Yeah. I loved that. That was such a good event. So I hope they can get that same energy back for this one.
Well, we got some good news. You said last showcase that they did in the summer, it was long. Yeah. And we know that this one now, it's going to be 90 minutes, an hour and a half.
Okay, all right. This is Xbox and Bethesda. I like that they're keeping it separate. I'm more interested in the Bethesda side because we have some cool stuff to look forward to. We of course have Starfield. We all know what's going on with that, right?
This has been the subject of some debate because there have been leaks, apparently from a former Bethesda employee known only as Heavy 008, and that sparked a lot of debate. But overall, Heavy 008 had some positive things to say. It's just that a lot of people in the media, major media publications, are latching on to some of the critical things that they said.
The one line where he was like, oh, the spaceship flying isn't fun.
But they also clarified later on that the game engine is powerful, it's just not user-friendly. But all the media headlines were like, Starfield's engine is crap, this game is gonna suck, and everyone's on Twitter is like, oh, the Starfield's gonna suck. I don't think it's gonna suck. I really feel like Xbox and Bethesda, they know, they're kind of like, yeah, this is gonna be pretty good.
I feel like Bethesda Game Studios, generally speaking, is good at delivering. I know that as time went on, people stopped liking Fallout 4 as much, but that game, that's one of my all-time favorite games. I played all the DLC. Far Harbor was awesome. I mod the hell out of that game. Fallout 76 is Bethesda Game Studios, but it was designed by their second studio, Austin, so I don't really count that. And Skyrim is like one of the biggest and most played games ever. This seems like the game that Todd Howard has always wanted to make. I'm excited. I like space combat. I like the concept art we've seen of like that water planet. It reminded me of where the Gungans live in Naboo.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I like the shooting in Bethesda games, specifically the newer ones like Fallout 76. As bad as that game was at launch, they improved the shooting quite a bit in that game from 4. So if they made it better from 4 going on to Starfield, I'll be excited about that.
I heard a rumor, I don't like, this is not substantiated at all, but I heard a rumor that like each planet is like the size of a Skyrim map. I don't know how realistic that is, like having like 12 different maps, each the size of Skyrim.
Well, this is a next-gen only game, which is awesome. I'm excited they're finally getting rid of the Xbox One. Hopefully Sony, they're done after God of War Ragnarok. Like, I want to start seeing more next-gen only games coming out because like we have these powerful consoles that suck up cat hair, but they're not being taken advantage of by most games that come out. As far as Bethesda goes, on top of that, I bet you'll see an update on Deathloop, right, for Xbox. Like, that seems like a good time to start talking about it in June to come out in September.
We know that's coming because we know that the timed exclusivity deal that Sony had on Deathloop is expiring, or it has expired already.
It would be a year. So that game came out in September. I think it would launch in September on Xbox, probably with some new content. Hopefully it'll run a little bit better because it's still a little bit rough on both PlayStation and PC. Ghostwire Tokyo, I doubt we'll see just because that game just launched, but Redfall, apparently that got delayed, but
I can't imagine that they would release it anytime that's close close to Starfield.
Right.
Like they wanted to give it proper breathing room for people to enjoy it before they, like, I can't imagine that they would drop Redfall and then like Starfield comes out a couple weeks later or even a month later. It was supposed to come out in the summer. So I mean, technically if they like announced it and we saw some gameplay about it in June 12th for the showcase, like maybe like an August, September.
It's a horror game, so I'd like to see it around September, October for sure. There's 2 other wildcard games. The first one that I heard might be revealed around this time is ZeniMax Online Studios, or whatever they're called, the people who make Elder Scrolls Online. Allegedly, they're working on a Mandalorian MMO. Looking forward to Machine Games Indiana Jones. Like that got stealth announced. We haven't heard anything about that. I think that next Indiana Jones movie is supposed to be out either next year or the year after. I feel like it's time to start talking about the Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, they gotta time it up for sure. And you know who I want to see some stuff from? Obsidian at the showcase. Because we know that they're working on Avowed. I know Jess Corden was writing about it in Windows Central. He was saying that it was a lot further along than he thought from the things that he was seeing and some of the things that they were showing off. And he was also saying that we could be seeing some gameplay soon. Hopefully we see some more stuff from Avowed, but we also now know that they got the green light to work on Fallout New Vegas 2 or something set in that universe. Maybe not a direct sequel, but something like that. We also know that they could be very much working on Outer Worlds 2, which would be sick. I know Starfield's coming out, but I really like the RPGs that they put down, man, and I'm excited for that. You know what else I want from Starfield? I want them to showcase the romance options, baby. I'm all about the romance options. Razer put out this dev kit and did a whole presentation about a handheld gaming device, and Xbox was very heavily featured in this presentation. Cloud gaming, Game Pass, remote play from your consoles and PC and things like that. Xbox has been sort of tinkering with some prototypes for handheld Xbox consoles or, things along that line. So people are thinking like, hey, maybe this Razer device powered by the Snapdragon could be the prototype we could see in the future for a handheld Xbox.
Yeah, I looked at this thing and it seems actually pretty cool. And when you look at what Xbox is doing, it makes sense for them to make a handheld that's more focused on cloud streaming than actually running games off of the device. And ironically, today, they added Fortnite to the Xbox cloud. So you can stream Fortnite from Xbox Game Pass, and you don't even need a Game Pass subscription to play this.
Yeah, that would make sense because like that game is free for on all other platforms. So it'd be messed up if they were like, gotta subscribe to Game Pass.
Yeah, so this is Epic's way to work around their whole ban from the App Store, right? Like you can't download Fortnite on iOS anymore. So now you can just log into the Xbox Game Pass cloud, stream it to your phone, use your Razer Kishi that I know you love, and you're good to go. But I tried streaming it to the Steam Deck, and it was really impressive. Honestly, it felt like I was playing it on the Steam Deck, and I am a very anti-cloud person. I'd rather just play the game on the device, but even me trying to scrutinize as hard as I could, it was very
serviceable.
Yeah, it was
serviceable.
Would
you say?
It looked great. It didn't even have any of the blocky artifacts or any of the weird glitches that I've seen on stuff like Forza Horizon 5 streaming it. It was a really good experience. Honestly, I could play it if I really wanted to. It's better than the Nintendo Switch version of Fortnite, that's for sure.
Apparently this new device is geared towards like Android users and Android gaming as well, which, like you said, it's a lot friendlier than a lot of the stuff you find on iOS. You mentioned that Epic Games had a fallout with the iOS store.
They like started a war. That's a nice way to put it.
And that also applies to Microsoft because they were trying to put a cloud gaming app on iOS, and there was some trouble there. Like Apple was like, we don't want a competing gaming service on our app store when we're trying to push our own Apple games. I feel like they're kind of like teaming up a little bit. We've seen like some workarounds to kind of incorporate both of these services into a mobile gaming format.
And that's super interesting because Sony owns a huge chunk of Epic Games. So it's kind of funny to see them partnering up with Xbox to get this cloud stuff going, especially on both the Steam Deck and the iPhone. Selling someone on a device that's built to stream from the cloud, that's cool, but it's going to be tough when you consider that they're still going to have to charge a couple $100 for it because they got to pay for the parts. It's going to have a Snapdragon processor, a nice screen, controls built in. That stuff's expensive regardless of whatever is running on the device.
Right, and check it. And this thing, you talked about the Switch earlier, it actually has some Switch-like capabilities, including the ability to dock it and play it on your TV versus a handheld mode. 4K gaming as well. And yeah, some pretty impressive capabilities. We know that like on a Switch, that would go what? And starts at $300. What is the OLED running for now?
$325. It's a weird arbitrary price.
So I mean, if we're seeing
$350, I don't know.
$350.
Now that I have the Steam Deck, I don't really.
You don't care about Switch. Yeah, Switch has fallen off. And I would also be interested, like you were saying, like a service-based device. Like, what other things can you use this gaming device for? Like, on the Steam Deck, obviously you've shown off. Like, you can like run.
You can use it as like your main PC. Easily. It works as a great desktop. This Razer thing, any Xbox handheld really, it has to have 5G built in because it's a portable device. You're not going to be going to Starbucks to connect to Wi-Fi to play Xbox, right? Like, you're going to need that 5G connection.
Only real gamers would do that. People aren't ashamed.
Yeah, Xbox Cloud streaming does work really well over mobile. I think this is a cool idea. I'm just going to stick, I think, for now with the device that can actually run the games.